Ross. Thank you. Daisy, what's your name?
Yeah, he's calling.
Yeah, the last, well, let's see, Martin's.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. And welcome to today's Board of Estimate and Apportionment meeting. My name is Dr. Dorsey Cruz, Chief City Auditor. We are, and the time is 1:32 p.m. If I didn't reference it, the date is Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. Let's see, present, we have our city treasurer, Gary Schoenfrost. We also have our budget director, Gideon Grande. We have Councilwoman Sonia Frederick, who represents the first ward, and we have our council president, Corey Evans. And also from the Office of Audit and Control, we have Eugene. So we'll jump right in. We have roughly 9 or 10 budget transfer requests, all of course for 2023, and then we have 2 increase appropriation items. So we'll get started with the first budget transfer request from the administration. It's a transfer in the amount of $60,000 from the bond and note expense account to the fees and service account to cover contract management software licenses. These funds will go into an account under the IT department. The second request is from budget seeking to transfer $1,000. This amount would come from the bond and note expense account to postage to cover postage expenses. The next transfer request also from budget seeking to transfer $100,000 from the contingency account to the state unemployment insurance account to replenish our unemployment insurance account. I believe it's negative 30,000 apparently. The next transfer request is from budget seeking to transfer $25,000 from contracted services to workers' compensation to also replenish the workers' compensation account. Any questions for budget?
Are those accounts, that replenish them for the year?
Yeah.
Thank you. The next request from Cultural Affairs seeking to transfer $5,500 from the festivals and other account to the other activities account. This is to cover expenses associated with the 2023 Dad Festival. The next request is from Youth and Workforce seeking to transfer $105,000 from the summer help account into 2 separate accounts, a temporary help in the amount of $80,000 and miscellaneous in the amount of $25,000. This is to cover expenses for the summer youth employment program, staff salaries, and also expenses for the end of the program celebration. We have our deputy commissioner here, Deputy Commissioner Tucker. If there are any questions regarding this transfer request?
No, just a question. You said summer help and temporary help. Is there a difference
Well, the
between summer help and temporary help?
so I'll let.
So
Yes.
for the temporary line in that budget, we have employees, and contractors, and also staff, and also since the employee also temporary.
Okay.
That's a few times.
Okay. Yep.
And just so if folks want to attend, when is the end of the program celebration?
We just find them to see from the CCC.
Thank you. The next request is from the water department to transfer $250,000 from contracted services into 2 separate accounts, supplies and materials in the amount of $30,000 and supplies, transmission and distribution in the amount of $220,000. This is to cover the increased cost of usage in water and sewer supplies. The next request is from DGS, seeking to transfer $75,000 from contracted services into two separate accounts. The first is uniforms in the amount of $30,000. This is for steel-toed boots specifically. And then the second amount, $45,000, would be going towards capital field pesticides. So we would be prepaying for this water. Is that accurate?
We're getting a purchase order for it, and we're close to purchase order right now. If we order them ahead of time, they give us a discount, right, and we get them quicker. We will never use the blanket, right, because we won't get it until next year, but it's the only way within our purchasing system to do it that way. So it's really, we're gonna transfer it in, and then we're gonna close out the PO probably within a week once they receive it, and then we're gonna move on from it.
Any questions? The next request is from Community Services, seeking to transfer $2,000 from training/conferences to supplies and materials to cover the purchase of supplies and materials. The last request is coming from our police department. They are seeking to transfer $4,500. I believe this was the one that was added late. But they did send the request ahead of the deadline. It was just an oversight, so you may not have seen this particular request from APD. So seeking to transfer $4,500 from two separate accounts, other equipment / forensic investigation unit in the amount of $1,500, and other equipment emergency SBC team in the amount of $3,000. These funds would then be transferred into two separate accounts: furniture and fixtures for the forensic investigation unit in the amount of $1,500, and supplies and materials / emergency SBC team in the amount of $3,000. This is to cover replacement of chairs and additional office items for the forensic investigation unit and purchase medical supplies for the emergency service team. Any questions regarding any of the items before we transition to increase appropriation? All right, let's move on. So the last two items, the first is an item from DGS, just acknowledging that we have a goal, a citywide goal to plant, how many trees is it for?
2,025 trees by the year 2025.
Okay. So lots of trees will be planted, and we have entered into a partnership where we put money out and then there's a match.
Actually, no, this is a grant we received from the Food Foundation for 100,000. So we're moving it into the operating account. So
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. So we'll see an increase on the expense side in the amount of $100,000, and we've already received the funds. So it'll zero things out. So any questions about that?
Yeah, when it says, which will fund more tree projects, is that in the 2025 or addition to?
no, that part of that project. So really, we've already spent that money. So we've already spent it. It's coming back in, so we can keep. So we used other monies to pay for the trees we've already planted as part of that. So when Tui gave us the money, he wanted it in certain areas, South Bend, Arbor Hill, we wanted certain areas planted. We've already done those areas, but we use regular operating funds. So this is replenishing that.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Other questions? The next item is from the police department. APD received a grant to help cover employee assistance program expenses. So we will see an increase on the expense side in the amount of $10,000 under contracted services, with the expectation that we will receive grant funding in the amount of $10,000 in the New York State Public Safety account. Any questions regarding these two items? There are no questions, then I am going to request a motion to approve the agenda as is. So we have a motion on the floor from our city treasurer, Dennis Dunbar, second from our council president, Roy Ellis. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we will send out the finalized agenda. May I request a motion to conclude the meeting?
That's me.
We have motion on the floor from There's Dr. Barr,
Second.
second from Councilwoman Fraser. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This concludes today's Board of Estimate report meeting. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'll transfer things over to our colleague in. I know. I'm saying this, I didn't know. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. As the Board of Order is the Board of Contract and Supply. Today, we have President Gideon Grant and Joe Stetson from the Budget Department, Darius Shankar, City Treasurer, Marissa Franchini, Corporate Counsel, Randy Milano, City Engineer, Frank Zioli, Deputy Commissioner. Yes. No advertisements for today, so we're gonna go right into our openings. The first one project is the Lucid Albany and Westfield Alleyway Revitalization Project. We have a bid from Newcastle Paving. Bid bond is included. The total base bid is $551,589. Total alternate, one bid, $34,311. Total alternate two bid, $30,000. Second, thank you. Second project is the purchase of tulips and flowering bulbs. We have bid submission. This one is from Color Blend. No bid bond is required for this project. Total bid is $49,985. Second one is from the Roomman Garden Products. Total bid is $45,928. The following resolution was offered on behalf of the Albany Water Board. Resolved that the Albany Water Board approves change order 3 to the Beaver Creek Clean River Project Phase 2. Contract is with WMJ Keller and Sons Construction Corp., increasing the contract amount by $343,740. The new contract amount is $887,829. The contract completion date will remain the same of July 1st, 2020. APD Traffic Engineering has offered the following: resolved that in accordance with the existing contract provision that the city contract number 9214, that the bid of the following named contract be extended until December 31st, 2023. There is no increase to the original contract amount. The contract completion date, the new date will be December 31st, 2023. The reason for the extension is due to supply chain delays and computer chip shortages. That includes all the items on the agenda. Can I get a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved. Second.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, everybody. That concludes today's board of contract and supply.
Randy, this is your